Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. The topic of this video is going to be on things that I try to live by, how I came to learning those lessons, and how I try to apply them in life right now. So I hope you enjoy, I hope this helps you, and much love. You should never make yourself smaller to fit into someone else's mold or to make somebody else be more comfortable around you. I've dealt with this in my life many times where me just being myself has irritated the souls of other people. I would find myself like, oh, okay, they don't like it when I'm like this, so I won't do that. But there was nothing wrong with what I was doing. It was just like my personality. I was outgoing, I'm kind of like loud sometimes. I'm not shy, I can talk to people, new people really easily. That's just how I am. I'm never gonna change that because there's nothing wrong with that. And if somebody doesn't vibe with it, then they need to just recognize what is irritating them and why it irritates them. When you see something in someone else that you don't like, it's because a part of you has that trait or does that in some other aspect of your life. There are many different examples of that. I know for me personally, like I didn't like it when I would see people like seeking attention, openly seeking attention. But that's because at the time, like a part of me was subconsciously like, oh, I wish I could just openly ask for it and get it when I wanted it, you know? Which I had trouble doing. Like, I guess you only get the love you think you deserve, right? So it was kind of like along those lines. Like I couldn't do it. So when I saw other people doing it, I was like, wow, like, I was such a hater. I had to recognize that and I had to come to terms with that. And it's just like, okay, like there's nothing wrong with it, what they're doing. And maybe if you did it, you would be happier. But there are other instances too, where it's like somebody does something that you don't like, but then you realize like, oh, maybe I kind of do that in some other ways. Maybe not exactly in that same way, but in other ways in my life. And you have to really check yourself, you know? Number 2, this kind of is like a subset of the first thing. Never apologize for being you. So I remember I would catch myself being like, oh, sorry, like let's say I was talking to a friend and I was just venting about like a situation. I would say, oh, sorry for like rambling, like you can say it differently. You don't have to say, oh, sorry for rambling, oh, sorry for being annoying. Don't. Apologizing for behaviors that are not actually wrong or hurtful or harmful to anybody, it's unnecessary and it just makes you feel like you're a hindrance or a burden on other people. In this situation, you could actually be a burden on somebody if they're going through a lot already. So what I do now with my friends to correct that, I'm like, hey, I really need to talk about something. Do you have the emotional energy right now to listen to me? And if they say yes, then I'll go ahead. But if they say, oh, no, sorry, I'm busy, or no, sorry, I'm really like not feeling well right now, I'll be like, okay, no problem. I hope you feel better and I'll talk to you another time. Number 3, número 3, recognize that you can be wrong and try to constantly improve yourself. Under this could be dealing with past traumas, facing your flaws, checking yourself, and accepting yourself as a whole being, but also recognizing maybe what you do that is not beneficial to you and that you could improve or change. For example, I used to not handle my anger in a good way in relationships. You can't treat people like that. You can't let your anger get the best of you and expect them to be okay with that and that it won't hurt them. I had to deal with that and I'm still getting better at it every day. I wouldn't say I'm perfect, but I definitely do think I'm much better. I also accepted the fact that I may not always do things perfectly. I'm a person with good and bad in me, and as long as you check yourself for the bad things, you'll be okay. Be real, not perfect. You just have to be unapologetically yourself, and you don't have to attain anybody else's standards of what perfect is. You just have to be yourself. The thing about being yourself is that you have to be honest about it. You have to be honest with yourself about who you are. I always think that there's room for improvement, and I feel like there's no cap on evolution and growth as a human being. And if you're not where you want to be, you also have to like sit down and be real with yourself about it. Like, okay, I'm not perfect, but this is who I am, this is how I am. But as long as you are real with yourself and you're honest about who you are, you're not hiding who you are from anybody, then I don't really see how that's a problem. And I think that that's okay, and I encourage that. I encourage embracing yourself fully. Number 5 is to invest in yourself. Like right now, I'm single, I'm going through this pandemic with all of y'all, and we have definitely a lot more time on our hands. And I've been pursuing my passions, doing things that I love, surrounding myself with people whose energy I like to be around, but also just taking time for me. And I think that that is priceless. Investing in yourself, whether it's like, okay, I'm gonna get a gym membership, that's investing in yourself. I'm gonna go to dance classes because I like them and I want to get better, that's investing in yourself. But one of the priceless ways to do it is just spending time with yourself. Investing in yourself is key. Number 6, are we on number 6 right now? Your mental health comes before literally anything, everything, and anyone else. Point blank. Like, if you're not good mentally and emotionally, and I think you can all relate, like if you're going through a really stressful time, you start to lack in other areas of your life. It's just harder for you to be the best version of you when you're not mentally and emotionally well. If a situation, an environment, a workplace is bringing you down mentally and emotionally, and you can't seem to figure out a way to deal with it, I would suggest therapy. Yes, your friends can help you a lot, but sometimes you just need to see a professional who is just not related to your life in any other way. Push through no matter how hard it is. Honestly, I think for me, this comes pretty naturally, but I still have to do it. Like, for example, when I was on exchange and I had to, in the same week I was dealing with a breakup, having to come back home, leaving my apartment, and like finals. All of that happened in the span of 10 days. I went through a breakup and I only had like 2 days to be upset about it before I had to start dealing with looking for a flight back home, rescheduling my flight, cleaning the apartment, getting everything ready to go, making sure that like we cancel our rent and our phone plan. And oh my goodness, it was like a lot of stuff. And I feel like anyone from the outside looking in at me during that time would have been like, sheesh, this girl's going through it. Yo. How I deal with that and how I push through no matter what, I try now to just let myself be upset, cry if I need to. When things need to get done, I just prioritize them in my mind. I push all my feelings to the side almost, and I'm just like, okay, we need to do this now. And then all of my feelings will usually come back and hit me like a wall of bricks. So I don't know if this is really the best way to handle it, but I do think that it is important sometimes to put your feelings to the side and just really focus on what you need to do in the moment, because if you don't, you may really regret it later. This one is huge to me because I feel like when I was in a relationship, my partner really took the relationship label and made it super important. And to the point where I was like, I'm so much more than just your girlfriend. I'm so much more than this relationship. I'm so much more than any relationship, any friendship, anything. Like, I am me before anything else, before any label that somebody tries to attach to me. So many people really identify with the person that they're dating, and especially with social media, it's easy to get caught up in that, and I totally was. But when you look back on it, you're like, yeah. Don't let any of the other labels, constructs, this identity that you have made in your mind for yourself, don't let it overpower who you are at your core. Honestly, I feel like they should mirror each other, but if they don't, that's when you start having like low self-esteem and deep-rooted insecurities. You are stronger than you think. I mean, I've gone through things in life and looked back on them and being like, wow, like it was hard, and you have to unpackage it sometimes because you can tend to block out things that are difficult for you to process, but you are a lot stronger than you think. You guys don't know everything about me, but the people who do, like, I tell them some of the stuff that I deal with like on a daily basis or stuff about my personal life, and they're like, I did not know that you go through all of this all the time. Like, I'm stronger than I think, and that's a very reassuring truth check on the people that you love. You never know what they're going through and what they might need, but be afraid to ask for it or not know how to ask for it or not want to burden other people. Number 11? Is this number 11? If I'm getting all of these right, honestly, I'll be really impressed with myself. Love and time are not related. You can feel more connected to somebody that you've just met versus somebody that you've known for like years. Every time that this happens to me, I'm more and more surprised by it. I actually like had a crazy connection with somebody that I met when I was on exchange in France. It was like one of those really weird coincidence, like straight out of one of those movies type of way of meeting somebody, and I only met them once and we just kept talking after that, and I was like, wow, a very unique connection just from talking, which was something that I have not felt in a very long time. And it just makes you realize, like, maybe that relationship that you ended was ended for a reason. The fact that you can feel more connected to this person, deeply connected to this person than whoever you were dating before, I mean, it just speaks volumes, and it really goes to show that love and time are not related. Okay, last but not least, because we're at the end. I think we're at number 12. Okay. If you don't water something, it won't grow. This goes for everything in your life. If you don't put effort into maintaining your friendships or into a serious committed relationship that you're in, the love will die out. If you don't water yourself, you won't grow either. If you don't put effort into you, then you're just gonna stay the same. You're gonna stay pretty stagnant. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that these kind of tips, they're like affirmations, statements, I really try to live by. And when I say try, I mean try. Like, sometimes it's hard to follow your own advice. That kind of work is very hard to do because it's not a comfortable experience. It's not something anybody wants to always do, you know? It's hard to admit that you have flaws, that you don't do this right, that like, oh, I did that and I regret it, or I shouldn't do that anymore, this isn't good for me, I'm not like all that I thought I was. Maybe like coming to terms with who you are at your core, it's not an easy process for anybody. However, it is probably the most rewarding kind of work that you can do for yourself. These 13 affirmations are things that I've learned over time, and also advice given to me by other people, but everything that I've listed here is stuff that I really try to implement in my own life, and I've seen examples of it before implementation and after implementation, and there's a reason why they're important to me, and I hope that some of them resonated with you. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video and if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Love you, stay healthy, stay safe, and see you next time. Bisous!